Welcome to Angels Don't Lie, my love. Thank you so much for being here. I'm your host, Jeannie Street. It is an honor and a pleasure to channel these messages and podcast for you. So today's episode was a beautiful download I got by my pool. I hope you lean in and soak in all of its yumminess and feel the warmth of the sun touching you as you listen. I have an exciting offer for you to join. It is Abundantly You. I'm inviting you to come to the table, to the Angels Don't Lie Facebook group table, that is. Come to the table to lean in and learn more about how to live full and abundantly you, to have more joy in your life. It begins September 19th, and I'm going to be sharing a video every day and then going live with you throughout the week to go in further and doing what I call my angel seat readings. I'll be bringing people in on the camera, and you can join all this yumminess just by joining the Facebook group. The links are going to be below, and I can't wait to see you there. So now on today's beautiful message. I hope you enjoy it. So I'm hanging out by my pool, and I am so lit up about sharing a message with you. Today's message is about healing. And the fact that, first off, we're all healers, right? You are an amazing healer. And maybe you don't even know this about yourself yet. But trust me when I tell you that you are. God has given you everything that you need in order to work through your life and navigate sticky situations and heal those things that are going on. And you have the ability, actually, to become new again. And what does that mean, become new again? It means that your cells literally renew themselves in 100%. Like, you aren't the same person you were a few years ago. You're not. Your cells die off and build up new, and you're created whole all the time. And so we have this opportunity to lean into this expansive energy. What is expansion? Expansion is like not only healing, but it's growing in wisdom. It's evolving. It's becoming that enlightened being that you are. And that's what I speak about in my very first book, The Goddess You, when we talk about soul alignment. Aligning with who you are, aligning with your highest soul self, aligning with God, all the possibilities of who you are. So specifically, I kind of wanted to circle around the sticky parts of trauma and where we get tripped up. Because I know this to be true for my own life, and I know it to be true for the hundreds of women that I've helped to heal their big blocks so they can have their breakthrough moments and shine their light even greater out into the world in some way, shape, or form. And that's what I want for you. I want you to understand these sticky parts of our energy and what happens when we fall into a cycle of complacency. You know, we get complacent in our energy. We do the same things, and the same things will get the same results, right? So when we're looking to heal and grow and evolve, whether it's in our personal life, in our business life, it really all starts with our being. It's wherever, if it's in relationships, if you are looking for a new career, like, we want to evolve. And the first place we have to look is at the internal space. We have to look at our internal castle, as St. Teresa of Avila called it. Internal castle is all of the dwelling spaces within, the doors and the hallways and the windows and the spaces where we hold light and the spaces that we block out light. Because we have come here to have such a vast experience, we have a duality of love and fear. And love and fear are what we live with. So healthy fear means that we're in alignment with love. We know that love is in the forefront of our life, and we can recognize when things have possibility. We are choosing to see the higher frequency and stay in that frequency of love. We're willing to do our energy work, right? Our you work, as I call it. Fear, and when it's contaminated with our ego, fear will grab onto our ego, and that becomes, as I speak about in my first book, Shmigo. And if this is your first time hanging out with me, Schmigo is fear and ego combined, and its one and only job in life is to keep you from being in the frequency or in the receivership of love. Because if it holds you in a place of pain, sorrow, discontentment, sadness, suffering, you will not turn to God. You will not trust. And so that's his game. That's what fear wants for us, not to have that, because if you don't have it, you're not going to spread it. And if you're not spreading it, the life and the world around you is not going to change. And the people that are meant to come into your life and world and be healed and helped and supported by you and your great light, it's not going to happen. It's going to be stopped. So we have to look at our healing journey as these awakenings to how much more love can I be present with? How much more love can I be in ownership with? It's so amazing.
When she smiles at you, she'll say, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, no, angels don't lie. Angels don't lie. No, 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 no.
We have to look at our healing journey as these awakenings to how much more love can I be present with? How much more love can I be in ownership with? So a balance of love, and a balance of love means that we're willing to go into those internal parts that there is some darkness. There's this duality within us, right? There's a duality of past and present and future. The past is going to carry imprints of the things that happened to you in your childhood, the experiences that you had, the conditionings that you had early on. It's going to also have some karmic imprint from past lives and energy that you've come into this life to heal. So it's going to have a lot of mixture in that past. It's also going to have the lineage of pain that you came in with for your family, for the people that you came into this life with, so you could help heal that together. Oh, that's the past. Wow, that's a lot of energy. The present is going to be the moment and the space in the here and now when you're present and you're in alignment, when you're in the frequency of love. And so as a healer, this is the most important place to stay, to be in this present space, because this is where you do your greatest work. This is where you're crushing it at work. You're just able to move through things very easily. When you're in the present, you are in the presence of the divine. So when you're in the present, you're in the presence of the divine. And that's the groovy space we want to be. When we're in our future, this is where we're in our longing. This is when we can be grieving something that hasn't come yet. We can be trying to get there, working to get there, doing all the things to get to the outcome, the thing, the place we want to be, the things we want to have, the goals. When we're in our future, we're not in our presence, right? We're not in our present at all. We aren't receiving the grace of God because we're flying ahead of the game. We're 2 steps ahead instead of being in the now. We're wishing and wanting, even judging, because it's not there yet, and we are confused by that. When we are in the past, we're not even looking to a future. We're not even trusting there's a future. And so we, in the healing world, we can go really deep with this to see like where our clients are, where they're sticky, and really help them navigate back into the present moment, to be in the presence of the divine, the greatness and the joy and the grace of God, where the healing happens in the here and now. And again, that's the miracle, right? The healing doesn't happen in the past. Healing doesn't happen in the future. It happens in the here and now. That's the miracle, right? That's the miracle moment where we can hold hope in the present moment for what's to come. We can have our faith be enlivened and filled by being in that frequency of love, by being in communion with God in prayer and all of the divinity and love and just earth and the nature. Like we can be in awe, and that will help grow that presence of love and help us to be more in the moment. So when we are healing, we want to capture where we fly to. So if you've had a lot of trauma, if you have a lot of stickiness in your life, it's probably something you find yourself doing, which is you fly out of your body. You disassociate. You can go and bounce into what I refer to as soul fragments, pieces of our soul that were left behind during those traumatic events, during those they were too big for our little self to go through. And so a piece of our soul is left behind in that soul fragment. And that soul fragment has a personality of the age it broke off in. So say it's 10-year-old you, and 10-year-old you was, maybe a little feisty, and maybe, was a little bit confused by what was happening. And so protective measures for that soul fragment would be to like not allow anything that feels familiar that happened to you at that age to come back in. And so it will use its feistiness, it will use whatever attitude and tools that it had at that time in order to prevent you from experiencing that again. And this is where the tricky stuff comes in. When we start healing, we can start to see like there's younger versions of ourselves. We can feel like we have this wait, there's this other version of me that pops on board, and I don't even know why I thought that. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I don't even know what I feel, because it's not in the present moment. It's confusing. It's like, wait, what is that? That's a soul fragment. And so when we're healing those soul fragments, we're coming back into union with that part of ourselves that was in pain. And so it can get a little bit tricky here, because we might want to storytell. We might just get into the habit of, going round and round and round the scenes of our life, instead of like looking at this piece of our lives, feeling what we need to feel. That means maybe being the observer of what did happen, and let's lean into like, what do you have to show me? What do you need? How can I love you? And then just inviting that soul fragment to come and be in the present with you, to be in union with you, because you are the queen. Like, you are the main being, right? You don't need another version of you running around, mucking up stuff. So you're basically not saying this soul fragment is bad or wrong or anything, because look, it kept you safe and well, and it did its job. But it just doesn't need to be on board at this time. And so when we start coming in union, when we start yoking from within all of the love that God has for us, and we go into that internal castle, we can see those dwelling spaces, the ones that are kind of dark and mucky. It's only because we've left a part behind. We've forgotten love somewhere, somehow. We thought maybe we were alone, and maybe we were. But then we start to see where the presence of love brings us, to see, oh, there was love over here. And then I remember this green grass that I got to see, and this warm feeling I got. And then we see that God always provided some form of love for us. And that starts filling that space within. That's what St. Teresa was really speaking of, like really focusing on the spaces and filling them with love, feeling what we need to feel to heal what we need to heal. And it's nothing we rush, and it can't like just go like quickly. It has to take time and marinate, and we have to go through this process of like just self-discovery. That's the best thing that you can do for your people, for your family, for your work, for your goals, the things that are in the future, is to be really present with yourself, to feel what you need to feel, to love upon yourself like that is your one and only job. Because really it is. Because the more in depth that you go with yourself, the more in relationship you are with you and God, you're going into the we now. This is you and God together. This is the we. The more in this we experience, like, I am growing in love because I am meant to be here. I am growing in love. I am pouring more time and energy into being in union with this highest frequency, this best feeling that I could ever imagine having. I'm going to spend time here because this is really what God is saying to all of us, is to stay here. This is what changes the world. This is what changes the world. It seems like that's crazy, right? Like the more time you're in stillness or meditating or in appreciation, that could change the world. But it is the thing that changes the world, because it takes you from the negative thoughts. It takes you from the worry. So if you are an energetic being, which is a proven fact, we are energy, and you can look up, so many amazing healers and people that are talking about the science of it. Dr. Joe Dispenza, the amazing Kathy Heller, she's the queen. I mean, there's so many teachers teaching the science behind frequency that you can find this information if you need to have the science. I'm an energy person. I know what the angels show me, and I just stay there. I, of course, love the proof just because it's fun, but I don't need the proof because I feel it. I know it. I see it. And maybe you're like me and you just want to lean into trusting more and more of what you know and see and feel. Yeah, that's the groovy medicine, because that sensitive souls stuff that makes you who you are, those heightened senses, that's what God has given to us, because we can feel and sense energy. Bingo, energy. Okay, so if you're in worry, just stay with me here for a sec. If you're in, say, a past persona, or you're living in this lower vibration, this lower energy, I call this like your emotional staircase. You come down your staircase from your highest, best feeling you've ever had, and you come into a low emotion, which is attached to a soul fragment, and you're in that space of, lull energy. That is the energy you're going to send out into the world just by being in that frequency. So your thoughts will align with the doubt, the shame, the worry, the confusion, the unknown, the sadness, the pain, the sorrow. Your thoughts and your energy is the signal that your body emits out into the world. It's the same energy that comes back to you, right? So the same energy then shows up in our life. It shows up in form, because we are in the physical world. And so when we want to have a new experience, right, this is where the healing comes in. We're ready for something new, whether it be from a physical illness to mental clarity, whether, like I said, new relationship, to open our gifts even more, to maybe it's to be on stage, maybe it's to get your voice out into the world in a bigger, brighter way. It isn't about the system or the method or the way you're doing it. It's about coming up your own emotional staircase. It's about getting very clear, what are my emotions? What are my top 10 emotions that I go through in any given time? So that's how my angels taught me to do this. Top 10, like you're just going to list them out from the lowest of low as your 1, and then you're going to move all the way up to the highest of high. It can be really challenging to get to the highest of high, because if you're like a lot of my clients, you're like, well, I don't even know what it feels like to feel good. But you do, because you've had great experiences that you just maybe aren't remembering. Or you've so grown accustomed to looking at the pain that you can't see where the love is or what it feels like. You're not remembering. But because your name was written before you came here, God gave you everything you need to remember that most perfect love of who you are. You came into this life before you entered into this being. You knew this path, you knew this journey, you knew it was going to be hard. You knew the assignment, and you were ready for it because you were in the frequency of love. You were like, yes, yes, God, yes. And then all of the other stuff happened, and you came into, I don't want any more. No, God, no. But all of that stuff is the foundation for who you are. All of that stuff can be turned and woven into gold. Nothing is wasted. Everything is going to be used for the greater good. And it might not seem it right this moment. It might not make sense to you in this time frame. But I guarantee you, if you spend time in prayer and yoking all of that yumminess from within, you go into those dwelling spaces and you bring God in there, you will start to say, yes, God, yes, I see it now. I understand. This is how we can look at amazing people who have had tragedy upon tragedy happen to them, and yet they go out into the world and they do amazing things. They are able to move past their greatest suffering and turn it into gold for healing someone else. And you can do this too. This is my message for you today. That God is there with you. You were never meant to do this alone, but He is there with you. I am reminding you that the lights are on. Bring Him on inside. Fall inward. Turn inward. Trust inward. And you will see everything will start shifting in your life. Walk up your own emotional staircase. Come up to the frequency of love. Come up to the highest emotion. Spend time there every single day. And things in your life will start to show up in the same vibration. Relationships, physical things, it will all start to happen because it can't not. It can't not come to you. Because when you are a match for all of those dreams and desires and what I call those postcard visions, all those postcard visions that you've had, God has given you, they don't look like a 3D movie. They look like just a picture. And it doesn't make any sense, but they are meant for you and they will come to fruition. I know it to be true because, look, I'm a girl who wrote 2 books who had no training to do so. I'm a girl who stood before a stage of 50 people before I was even ready to do my work, and I read all 50 people. I was a girl who's had no formal training in being a medium, and I just came in this way, wired this way. And instead of listening to the outside world tell me, no, I don't want you to do this, you're gonna go against, like, I just heard so many negative things from my family, from my friends, that it would have stopped most anybody. But I took it as fuel. I was like, they don't know or see or understand what's in me. They don't understand that I can't not do this. And so I just kept praying. I just kept praying and not looking to them to fuel me. I looked to God to fuel me. So I stand before you in the realness to say, like, you can do this. You can have God fuel you. It works. And it's amazing. So I hope this serves you and fills you and reminds you of all the love that you are. Have a most blessed day. Oh my gosh, Lovey, I hope that you really took away those yummy nuggets from today's episode. Please leave me a comment and let me know what your yummiest takeaway is. And don't forget to head on over to Facebook and join the Angels Don't Lie Facebook group and be part of the Abundantly You series. It's going to be amazing. I have some really special guest speakers that are coming on board, and I will be going live with you guys and offering angel seat readings. So it is my way of being able to tap in to the heavenly realm and offer you clear guidance on how to live fully and abundantly within your own energy. It's gonna be incredible, and I can't wait to see you there. I hope you have a beautiful and amazing day, and remember, I know what I know because angels don't lie. God bless you.
You'll never worry or fear. Her love is special when she is near. The pain relieves the ties to the past. Alone